So again, we're going to be using the volume equals base area times height, but you always substitute that great big B for the formula for the area of the base shape, which in this case is length times width. So for this number, for the number 1 that we're going to do, again, well, it's the letter A. Okay. For the letter A, go ahead and write down that formula. And then, what is the shape of the base? It's a rectangle. So if it's a rectangle, again, what's the area for a rectangle? Okay, I need Yari to go back and sit over here. Right, and then I'm going to change a couple, and then I'm going to switch Sam and Christian. Go ahead, you guys switch seats. All right. So again, we're going to take that formula for the area of the rectangle, and you replace it with that big B. So it's length times width. So we're going to change this into, and you should do it on yours, volume equals length times width times the height of the prism. So now we're going to go to the picture, and we start with that rectangular base. What is the length and the width of that base? Jesse, focus. It's 4.5 and 6. So you're going to put in here 4.5 times the 6. That is the length times the width of the rectangular shape. Then we have to multiply by the height of the prism. Who knows what the height of that prism is? It's the 5 point right here. That's the height. And then we'll multiply it in just a moment. But I just need you to know how to fill this in. So let's go to the picture right below it. It's also a rectangular prism. It's the top base and the bottom base face each other. They're parallel. So we're going to do the same thing over here. It's also a letter A. It's our second A. And do I have any more rectangular prisms? No. Okay. So again, you start the volume. I don't want the area. The volume is big B times H. Again, you'll have this formula. Big B times H. But then because it's a rectangular prism, what do I replace that big B with?
The L.
The L. Sam, get focused. The L and the W. And Jesse, get focused. We're not playing. All right. The L and the W. So it's going to be the volume is equal to L times W times the height of the prism. So here's the picture. Here is your rectangular base. What is the length and the width of that base?
130.
Very good. So it's going to be, again, you should get 100 on your test. You're given the formula. You substitute those values. 30 times 20, and it didn't matter if I put 20 times 30. It's the same thing. Times the height, which is 25, the height of the prism. Okay. And then we'll go back and we'll solve those two. So what does the formula tell you to do to solve it? You're going to multiply them. And I would multiply everything without the decimals, and then we'll put the decimals in the end. So I'm going to put the 45 times the 6. Again, I'm going slow enough that you should be able to get all of this. We're doing the 45 times the 6. And then I'm going to take that 270, and we still have to go times the 58. So this is going to be 0. It's going to be 56. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 16, yes, 21. I'm done with the ones column. And I'm going to work that 5. 0 times this 35. 5 times 2 is 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, once I have that, yeah, you're going to go back up here, and you always lay this out very neatly so you can see clearly where the decimals are. Here's one number to the right of the decimal here. Here's another number to the right of the decimal. So how many numbers in should I go?
152.
I'm not saying, I don't want the answer. Thank you, Allegra. You go in 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And on this one, it is, this one was centimeters, so it is cubic. Every time I do a length times width times height, it's giving me a little cube in here, and I'm seeing how many cubic units are in the whole entire thing. So 156, it's right here, and put the letter A. So 156 point, and they'll probably take the 0 off at the end. And then we'll, everybody have that one? Then this one should be easier because there's no decimals at all. Does anybody know what 20 times 30 is in their head? 600. Yeah. So 3 times 2 is 6. With 2 zeros is 600. So we're going 600 times 25 still. And I could just go 6 times 25 and tack on 2 zeros. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Go 25 times 6. 6 times 2 is 12, 13, 14, 15. But we really had 600. So how many zeros should I tack on? 2 zeros. And there is our answer. 15,000 cubic units. And let's see if it's there. It's right here. So if the answer here has cubic inches, that's what you also need to write. And that was also a letter A. Okay. So this one here is an 15. I don't have any room to put it. 15,000 cubic inches. And then I'll do a couple easy ones, and then we'll get to the harder ones. All right, so let's go down to these two. Jesse, sit up, please. All right, so then we're going to go to these. We're looking for the volume. Again, the volume of any prism is that. It doesn't matter what kind of prism. It goes for also a cylinder because it has the same properties. It has 2 bases that face each other. It's also that formula. So you start off with that formula on your line paper. So that is the letter, we're doing the letter N and L. N and L. Volume is big base area times the height. Volume is big base area times the height. Okay. So I've got those down. All right. But then look at this picture. This base area is, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is a pentagonal, it's a pentagon. Okay. Do I have the formula to find the area of a pentagon?
No.
No, I don't have that. But here they gave me the big B. And when you see that it's squared, that means they've already calculated the base area. Because they must have done some, that formula I think is radius squared times whatever. But anyway, there was 1 unit times another unit. They already did the square units. So do we know what that big B is? Do I know what the base area is?
Yeah.
Yes, it's right here. So all we have to do on this one is put it right here. It is 52 times, then we just have to look for the height. Do we know the height of this prism? 7.5. In just a couple of minutes. Right. Then let's set up the letter L, which is very, what? Yes, yes. You don't have to ask me for that. So on this one, again, it's big base area times height. This one here is a hexagon base. I don't know the formula. However, do I need to calculate that base area?
No.
Normally I would have to, except they put the big B is equal to 19.7 centimeters squared, which means if they already calculated centimeters squared, that means they've already calculated that. So where am I going to put that 19.7? Yeah, as the base area. They already gave it to me. So 19.7 times the height of the prism. What's the height of the prism? 4.3. Okay. Alrighty. And then we just work those through. So let's just multiply, and I think I'm going to put the 52 on the bottom. It looks easier. So, what is that? Okay. So 75 times the 52. Again, and if I'm showing the work, you should be showing the work. I'm done with the 2. And then we'll go to the 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Is 35, 36, 37. All right. So on this one, we're not done yet. So on this one, Jesse, how many places in do I have to move the decimal?
1.
Just one place. Now you can go ahead. All right. So go in one place, and the answer should be, what kind of units was that in? That was centimeters. So it's 390 cubic centimeters. And make sure that we see that answer down there. Oh, was it meters?
Yeah. Yes, it was.
But hold on a second. 390. Oh, it's this one. Okay, I'm sorry. So it is this one, and that's the letter N. So 390 cubic meters. And then we're at this one. We've already substituted this in there. And so all we have to do is, Johnny, what do we have to do with those two numbers? Multiply them. So very good. So let's put 197 without any decimals times the 43. 3 times 7 is 21. 27, 28, 29. Did I do something wrong? 21, that's 27, 28, 29. That's correct. Then keep a placeholder because we're going to the next number. It's 28, 6, 37, 38, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and make sure you're getting this down because I'm going to be checking your papers. Okay, all right. That's for everybody. And so that's 6, 6, 12, 13, 14. And then, who knows how many places in the decimal is going to go? Yeah, 1 to the right here, 1 to the right. All together, then it's going to be 2. So let's, before we write our answer down, double check. Just see if you see it. 84.71. Oops. It's right here. And so that was the letter L. Okay, so we've got that so far. And that was 84.71 cubic centimeters. And then we're going to go to the, good, thank you, Sam. Alrighty. Alrighty, so, okay, let me see what time it is. 10 o'clock. We get out at 10:30. No, not for us. Okay. 11:30. All right, so now we're going to go to, girls and boys, now we're going to go to these last 5. We're going to try to knock those out, and then we're done for the day. Then, so now all we have now, what is the shape of this base on this prism? It's a triangle. This is called a triangular prism. What's the shape of the base on this one? Triangle. It's a triangular prism. All of these, this is a triangle, triangular prism. This is a triangle, triangular prism. And this one here, even though it's tilted a different way, this triangle, it's not rectangle because that is a rectangle that it's sitting on, but there's no rectangle that it's parallel to. So the two that are parallel that face each other is this triangle and this triangle. So this is, I mean, I could turn it, and it's a triangular prism. So where is my piece of paper? I lost my piece of paper. It is right there. Okay. So I'm going to flip this over. And again, the main formula is, and I'm going to, when I have my test, again, no excuse. There is a problem if you can't read the formula and it's given to you exactly what to do. So here's a triangular prism. It tells you to start with this. So that's what you're going to write down first. You're going to write down, Gianni, put it away. No, get it off the table. Thank you. This is what you should be writing on. Right. So it's going to be volume equals base area times the height, and that's where we're going to do in the letter T, and we'll set up the letter N. So same thing, it's a triangular prism. So volume equals base area times the height of the prism. But you always have to change that big B for the area, for the formula for the area of the base. Well, on a triangular base, the area is a triangle. And they're telling you right here on the formula chart, replace that big B right here. Here's the big B. Replace it with this right here. And they are saying 1/2 base times height. I like to say base times height divided by 2. So, because that's how we find the area of a triangle. So over here, again, I'm going to replace that right here. So, again, you follow your formulas and you do what it says. So I'm going to put base times height divided by 2. This is for the area of my triangle. Then times the height of the whole prism. Same thing on the second one that we're going to do. We change that base area. That base area is according to whatever shape it is. Rectangle, length times width. Triangle, base times height divided by 2. So volume equals base times height. Again, think if the last test was hard because you weren't focused and you weren't paying attention. This one's going to be doubly hard. So you have to make sure that you are focusing and concentrating. All right, base times height divided by 2, again, is the triangular base formula times the height of the whole prism. So you should have those down. And then let's go to, all right, so So listen carefully. I'm going to be filling in for the base area, which is a triangle. I don't look at anything except this triangle right here. So who knows? The formula says I need the base and the height of that triangle.
4 and 10.
Very good. The 10 is the base. The 4 is the height of that triangle because that right angle symbol points to the base and the height. So I should be changing this out for 10 times 4. The formula says I still have to divide by 2 because a triangle is half of a rectangle. And then, what's that? Okay, then I'm going to multiply it by the height of the whole prism.
8.
Now I'm going to look at the height,
8.
and it is 8. And in fact, let's go over to, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to go over to the n. Again, I need to fill out the parts of my triangle first to get the base area. So I'm going to go to the triangle, and I'm looking at nothing else except the triangle. Who knows the base and the height of that triangle? 8 and 3. 8 and the 3. I don't even look at that at all. I'm just looking at that triangle. So 8 times the height of the triangle divided by 2. And then I could look at the height of the whole prism. What's the height of the whole prism? 6.4. And then we'll go ahead and work this out. And this one, I'm not going to take any shortcuts. I'm just going to multiply it. What is 10 times 4?
40.
So 40. I still have to divide that by 2. What is 40 divided by 2? You should do that in your head. Very good. 20. And then times the 8.
60.
All right. So again, everything is very, you shouldn't have numbers flying all over. It should be very organized, each and every step. And then the rest of this you could do mental. You're right. 2 times 8 is 16. Tack on a 0. It should be 160 cubic units, which is right here. We're going to try to. So we can just finish this up and we'll be done. All right, so on this one, it is the letter T, and that is 160 cubic meters. And this one, we're ready to go. Let's see if, rather than me writing it again, let's see if we could do this whole triangle area in our head. 8 times 3 is what?
24.
24. And Yari. And then what? Finish this out. What is that going to be?
Eight times 3 divided.
Okay, are you paying attention? Are you getting this down? Okay, Sam, what?
It's 24 divided, well, it's going to, 8 times 3 is 24 divided by 2 is 12.
Awesome. Okay, so we did our 8 times 2 is 24, divided by 2 is 12. And then we just have to go 12 times 6.4. So again, you keep everything organized, and then we can go ahead and I'll leave a place for the answer, and I'll multiply right here. I'm going to put the 12 on the bottom because it's easier to work with. 64 times 12. Done with that. 1 times 4 is 6 is 4. And then how many places over do I go? 1. So let's make sure that that is there. 76.8. And that was the letter N. Okay. All right, and that's it. And then let me see what time it is. because I may have you guys do some. Oh, I know which one I'm going to have you do.
Wait, are we gonna finish the test?
No, I said that's on your own time. The test, anything you didn't finish, it's not a 3-day test. All right, so here we go. So we're going to end up doing these two together, and you'll have one to do on your own. We can do this. So let's go ahead and set up the letter A. And what is that shape? Triangular prism. So again, we start out with this. And if you need more paper, just get up and go get some. It's volume is equal to big base area times height. Then I have to change out that big B with what? The area of the formula for the triangle, which is, and they're telling me right here. Yeah, and I'm going to do base times height divided by 2. Base times height divided by 2. So we'll switch that out. Base times height divided by 2. And I usually sometimes put a little triangle, so I'm going to be looking at just the triangle when I'm filling that in, not any other part of the prism. So, and in fact, we'll do set up the last one, which is the same shape. We're doing the A and the H. This is A, and then we're going to do the H, which is volume is equal to base times height. But our base on that last one also is a triangle. So it's going to be base times height divided by 2. We're switching that out. Again, times the height of the prism. Then this one, we might get some help with a calculator on this one. So you just have to help me out. Go to your triangle only. Tell me what the base and the height is. That's it. And it doesn't matter which one is which. So 6.2 times 9.6 divided by, my formula tells me I have to divide by 2. And then times, that whole thing times
12.
the height of the prism, which is 12. Let's set up the H, and then, yep, we might use a calculator on that one too. Maybe. All right, so I'm going to look at my triangle only. What is my base and the height of the triangle?
5 and 6.
Is the 5 and the 6. So it's going to be the 5 times 6, the base and the height. I switched them by accident, but that's okay. Times the height of the prism. If I turned it, well, it would be 8.5. And this one, actually, we can start this one. 5 times 6 is 30. 30 divided by 2 is what?
15.
Is 15. 30 divided by 2 is 15. Times 8.5. So I know it's got to be over 100, but we're going to take a little shortcut right now because it is what it is. All right. And hold on just a second. If I can get my calculator going, we will. You know, all the time I spent getting this calculator, we could have done it. All right, so 15 times 8.5 is 127.5.
Yep, it's there.
Okay,
Which number is that?
so that one was this one. So 127.5 cubic inches. And where is that at? Right here. And that gets to the letter H. Okay. Then this one we've already set up, and we will use a calculator for that. We already got that going. So 6.2 times 9.6, and then I have to divide that by what?
2.
Divide it by 2. Ah, what happened?
What's the H?
So divided by 2 equals, and then I have to take that and multiply it by what? Okay, that times 12. And is there a 357? Something, yeah, 357.12, good. So that one is 357.12. So 357.12 cubic centimeters, and that gets the letter A. Here's your job. Your job is to do this one.
Can you show me the paper for number for H?
The one for H? So these are the last two we just did. All right, so you've got about 15 more minutes to do one whole problem. Yes. Go ahead. So again, set up your formula. Volume is equal to big base times height. What do I have to do with this big B?
Turn into length.
Well, you have to look at your shape. What is the shape of the base?
Oh, I mean, you gotta do the 30 times the 20.
Well, tell me the formula. What's the formula for air?
Base times height divided by 2.
Divided by 2. So let's substitute that in. Base times height divided by 2. That is for your triangular base only. Times the height of the prism. So you take it from there. Here is your triangular base, and you finish it. Okay. I think you can do that. There's no decimals. It should be easy to work with. You did? Okay. And as you finish it, I will pick it up.